Doesn't come with loaded language.
I mean, I don't love plant-based stuff, but that happened to be on the bottle when I bought it. And I was like, well, I mean, it's pumpkin spice. Of course it's plant-based. Am I right?
Oh! You're saying you don't love it, but you like it as a friend.
Yeah, exactly. My gourd friend.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're just
By
being
the way,
extra bitchy today.
I don't know why this shirt is like the cheapest Halloween shirt. Like, I'm just here for the booze. I think it's the funniest thing. And I was at the dollar store and I saw it and I was like, give me that shirt.
The funny part, I saw 12 of that shirt yesterday at California Adventure. So there must be a bunch of other people lurking at Dollar General.
Well, because like, you know, you go to Walmart and you see like the typical Halloween shirts and you're like, oh, whatever. But there's something about just here for the booze with the ghost that just really gets me, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you're wearing a fancy shirt, the live/love.
Live/love.
And I'm wearing a Macho Man Randy Savage shirt.
Oh, I thought it was The Simpsons. Why are they yellow?
Because it's a comic. It's not your standard macho shirt where it's like the little outline of his stuff. It's a comic where he's getting ready to do the elbow and lay down a whooping.
Oh, that's super cute.
Mm-hmm. See, I had $100 to Fanatics that somebody gave me. This person obviously knows me very well.
To Fanatics.
And so I looked and it's like, they don't have hats in my size at all. I'm a 7 3/4 minimum. So that was completely out unless I wanted flex fit, which looks like a yarmulke on me. Not a problem, but you know, 'tis not the season for me, I guess. And so all of the sports teams can eat my asshole. And so they have a pro wrestling one. So I got a Razor Ramon shirt, a Rowdy Roddy Piper shirt, a Macho Man Randy Savage shirt, and Detroit Red Wings jammies.
Oh my goodness.
That's cute, but there's sizes of hats.
If you get them fitted, because that's the thing. I'm so big in hat that if I wear a snapback, I have one snap and it looks like I'm wearing a child's hat. It legitimately doesn't cover my whole head. And if it does, it hurts.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to pay attention now in October to the size of the circumference of your cranium.
Ooh, because we're
Your
all gonna see each
globe.
other in person.
I know, and it's super cute because today the Slumber Party Massacre episode released, and that's when we first introduced the idea of getting together in October. And look, it's coming to fruition.
Fruition.
The fruit of the loom.
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting. I can't wait. Oh, it's a month from today.
Ooh,
I
for you,
know.
it's
for me.
less than a month. 1 month, 1 day less than a month for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Because
an
Mikey has to be
overachiever.
special and go by himself.
Yeah.
I'm taking days off from work to hang out with you, skis bags, so you better be cool in person.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely. Well,
I will just be full hole exposed, just waiting.
Gaped.
Yeah, I'll be like, is this enough cool for you?
Agape.
I'll tell you, unlike these cheerleaders, it's not cold in there.
Oh,
you haven't seen the movie. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Who's hosting?
This.
Oh, you gave me blue balls because you started it but then didn't finish it. So now I am aroused but not released.
Well, that's what I specialize in.
This is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite horror media. My name is Jake. With me, as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, Mikey and Adrian, who are going to convince me to watch a movie I had never fucking heard of until Adrian and I talked on the phone 14 minutes ago. Say hello to the mutant goons from beyond.
Ladies first.
Well, hello, mutant goons from beyond. And yes, I did convince Jake to come on because Micah was supposed to join us, but since, Bizarro Micah, next best thing, I guess, right? So
I'm tattooed, I'm gingery, I have a wrestling shirt on. It's the same thing.
Exactly, except he won't take off his shirt. So slasherspod@gmail.com if you want Jake to take his shirt off.
And you require less editing. So even better.
Say hi, Mikey.
Hi, everybody. I was going to host the episode because I was going to do it's summer, back to school, whatever we're doing. And I was going to be like, You know how in the yearbook it was like most likely to whatever, most likely to whatever. I was gonna do that for all of us, but I totally forgot what it was. So even though I stopped halfway, it's because I forgot what I was doing. But like I told Ade earlier, you can be beautiful or you can be smart. Thou shalt not be both.
I don't get it.
Oh, I
Now
guess
you know
I'm
what
just
kind
so
I am. Now you
beautiful.
know.
Yeah. The lawyer.
I'm sorry, what?
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Oh, actually, I remember now. I was gonna say, and she would have been prom coming queen if she didn't get caught sucking dick behind the gym, Adrian. And then I forgot what I was gonna say about Jake, but
I would never. I didn't date high school guys in high school. I dated college guys. So
she sent 6 guys to prison her senior year. Adrian.
Find out which former profession is disgraced and on Megan's Law on this episode of Slashers Podcast. From ratemyprofessor.org to Megan's Law.
What's Megan's Law? Is that about statutory stuff?
It's where you register all the people who do the diddling and stuff. But it's very poorly maintained, or it's because of Megan's Law. Very poorly maintained. The people can like change the way they look. They don't have to do anything. It's pathetic. Because when I do like my background search on people who I'm going to depose and stuff, very often I'll run them through there just as an extra thing to see if they're skeezes. And I've had to do that a couple of times. Found out my opposing counsel one time was on Megan's Law. And I have not let anybody else in the industry not know that fact upon dealing with him.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty strange. So there's this new horror-themed coffee shop bar that will remain nameless for litigation purposes. And they are new to my town. And everybody was super excited. I was super excited. And then like a week later, everybody was like, hold up, before you go supporting this coffee shop company, they got basically ran out of their city because the owner was texting underage girls. And they posted like all the screenshots and stuff. So
No.
everybody was like, oh no, we can't support them, well, yada, yada, yada. And of course, you know, millennial gays are like Nancy Drews of this shit. And they're looking at all this stuff. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is all just hearsay. Allegedly, Slashers Podcast does not condone nor endorse these statements. That's just
Based
what
upon
I read.
information and belief.
Yeah,
I actually had a long talk about ethics with a judge today on a multi-million-dollar trial I was doing, and he was talking about how completely unsolicited, just fucking starts ranting about Donald Trump's attorneys and how they're all going to be, investigated because your duty of candor doesn't just pertain to the courtroom. So he's like, so you have these people who are going on public television and they're saying, oh, it's fraud, fraud, fraud. I have affidavits. I have all this. And they get to court and they say, oh, we don't have any of that. And so I was like, yeah, that makes sense. More importantly, though, we started talking about hats. Should I spend $30 on a hat right now that is my size?
What's it of?
It's New York Mets, and I'm not necessarily a baseball fan, but I'm a big fan of Neil Simon's The Odd Couple, and Oscar wears a New York Mets hat, as famously played by Walter Matthau, who I feel is my spirit animal. He looks how tired I am.
I think you should get it. Is he dead already?
Yeah,
Yes.
he died a while ago. Yeah. Mikey, you'd never know when people die.
I don't. I'm sorry, I mind my business. I just know him from the Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
reboot.
Dennis the Menace.
And I think he was in The Odd Couple. Grumpy Old Men. He was one of those guys that like definitely looked grumpy and miserable, but he also like looked comforting.
Oh, little viejo. May he
Yeah.
rest in peace. Anyway, yes, Jake.
So is that
treat
one
yourself.
vote or 2 votes for the hat?
Get the hat.
Yourself. Get the hat.
Okay. I feel
I
disingenuous.
got this dollar store shirt. I could have gotten 30 of them.
Yeah, exactly. This is 33 of that shirt that is emblazoned upon thy titties.
They do look nice
Slashers
today.
Pod Live/Love t-shirt with the wine glass and the Goon Show face retails at like $20, people. So, slasherspod.redbubble.com. Anyway,
I know Ade's always trying to expand the vernacular of our Redbubble store. Is there a way? Yes, I know who Walter Matthau is.
Well, I felt
Him-
disingenuous because I haven't watched the All Cheerleaders movie, and I had that as my background, and that's just—it's a lie, and I won't be.
It's
I
not a
can't-
lie because
the judge
it
is going to get
provides-
mad at me for not having candor because I'm lying
Oh
outside
my
It
of court.
provides
God.
background into one of the talking points.
Oh, I love that Mikey
Um,
used the cough button. Good job.
You're welcome.
That's what fancy real like radio people do. They have a button on their headset, and if they had to cough, they do "Bup, and then unbup.
Well, fancy radio person, I am here. Oh, is I'm here for the booze a copyrighted statement, or can we make a slashers version of it?
Well,
It's
it
only
would be
appropriate for
trademarked.
us. It's only appropriate for us to have I'm here for the booze and just have like a picture of Ade passed out on a couch with a bunch of white claws around
That
her
probably
in front of a
happened.
computer monitor.
Dan
It
took
is
a
the-
picture of me like that years ago. I'll have to find it.
It is the trademark of one. Excuse me. The person's name showed up and then it disappeared. I can tell you her attorney is Edwin P. Tarver. So
Mm.
yeah, it's been trademarked since October of 2017.
Well, never mind.
Well, what if we did boo apostrophe Z?
Or BOOCE.
Or BOO .ZE.
Or
Oh,
since
that's
it's Ade,
cute.
yeah, because it's past, she's passed out. It's some booze. Like
So it's the Z's from her little
Snooze.
snories.
I just thought it'd be cute.
Whatever.
It's
But she'd have
Rachel
to-
Ruiz. Congratulations to Rachel for coming up with that idea that you apply to athletic shirts and hats.
Yes,
Yay.
congratulations for thinking about trademarking a very frequently said statement. Nevertheless, I'm
In my dress
always-
for the occasion, it's number 32 on the heels. That's a Sum 41 rap from the All Killer No Filler little documentary that went with it.
All Killer
Oh.
No Filler. That almost sounds like All Cheerleaders Much Die, which is the film that we are going to be reviewing today. It debuted in what year?
2008? Did I know that?
2013. I think
What?
that the old one came out in 2008.
Oh.
Yeah. So this was initially this is a Lucky McKee film. And so he remade the film after finding his first film of the same name, went straight to video, and it was hard for people to find. So they wanted to remake it. So that's a little bit of trivia there for
I
you.
wonder if it's on YouTube. Yeah.
So this is Sam Raimi doing Evil Dead 2 Part 2.
Yeah, sort of.
with rocks.
Yeah, with rocks. Okay, so
It's on
You know,
Tubi.
it's on Tubi
So
right now. Yeah.
YouTubi, we'll say.
Okay. Yeah, YouTube. So
No, I meant the original one, not the
Yeah.
one we're talking about.
the
Oh.
initial one, it probably is on YouTube, honestly. I'm sure if you
Yeah.
looked it up, you could probably watch it, but I
Yeah.
didn't watch it.
Mm.
But
Well,
yeah,
so when I heard Jake was coming on and his idea was for us to convince him to watch this, I was like, I don't know if I do recommend watching it.
okay.
Talk
well,
about starting with your best foot forward. Wow, color me impressed. I am compelled to watch this now.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so it came out in 2013. In September. Okay, so it was a fall film, so back to school, yay! Yeah, so if we had recorded this in our initial day, I think it would have been the exact day that the movie came out. So
Oh, cool.
Fun fact.
Ooh,
we had to reschedule.
serendipity.
Yeah, we had to reschedule this film a couple of times. It just feels like it was starting to feel like Prey a little bit. Like, are we ever going to get this episode done? But we finally found a day. We're good to go. And the competition, I guess that in September that year, Butcher Boys, which I have it on my list still, and I still haven't watched that one. Truth or Dare, which I like that one. Insidious Chapter 2, Proxy. Proxy's really good. Almost Human, I Spit on Your Grave too, and We Are What We Are. So there wasn't a whole, it's mostly aside, I guess, from Insidious. Everything else looks like it was independent, right? So this is an
This is
independent film.
bullshit. Neither of you have POD stuck in your head right now, do you?
No.
You
What-
said some movie We Are What We Are. That
We
Youth
are,
of the Nation song punched me in the face. Do you remember
uh,
that? Where it
yes.
says, "We are,
The
we
youth
are."
of the nation, we
Oh
are,
my
we are.
God.
Oh
It
God.
I know
hurt.
the
I have
song, but I don't
concussive
know
impact.
it's POD, Puddle of Doom, whatever they're called.
No, it's not
Poops
puddle.
on dicks.
I don't know. I actually saw POD a couple years ago at Earth Day birthday, and I was like, I don't want to watch them. And Dan really wanted to watch them because he fucking loves Southtown, and he starts singing. I'm like, who are you?
Oh man, that's the thing. I love those bands where they're nobody's favorite band, but then people will just come out of the woodwork and like suddenly like, oh, you're that person. Like I'll never forget the band 311. I don't know anybody who fucking likes that band, who even has like a shirt or a sticker or anything like that. I remember being in a social circumstance one time, and this girl just starts singing it, and I was like, wow, like that's something I would never do publicly, even if I liked the band.
Oh
Yeah,
my
these
God.
are all
Well,
bands that I know some of their songs, but I would know their song first before I knew that they sang it. Because they were talking
Yeah.
about 311 the other day at work, because one of my friends at work hates 311. Like, I think it came on in the coffee shop we were in, and I was like, oh, I didn't know this was 311. So,
oh,
Was it
I
probably
like
their cover of The
311.
Cure?
no.
That whole Alien Ant Farm treatment, where their cover is probably more successful than the rest of their music.
Well, they come to Florida like all the time. They're always in Orlando. So I've probably seen 311 like 5 or 6 times. It's ridiculous.
Ah,
Yeah, and they headline a lot of shows too. So like festivals
how?
and things. I
Are
do,
they all
well,
just comp tickets? Is that
I
got them?
listen, they're very popular here in Central Florida. So
So
I
is meth. I don't know.
don't
Are they
know.
related? Who am I to say? My duty of candor to the court. I don't know.
I don't know. I decay.
I'm just a guy asking questions. That's all I know.
Well, yeah. So to talk the rest of the year though, we had a lot of good movies. We had well, I mean, I guess okay. Mama came out that year. I liked Mama actually.
We all? Oh, no, that's
Uh
okay. Never mind. I was confusing with Mom. I was like, we did an
Mama.
episode on it. It was great.
Oh yeah, no, we did Ma.
Wrong
We didn't
one.
do Mom. No, we didn't do
Mama.
Mama.
This was the
Uh
sequel to Ma, though, right? That's why there's two of them.
Mama.
No.
No, this was the Guillermo del Toro movie with
Tormo.
Jessica Chastain, isn't it? She's really good. I
Yeah,
love
I
her.
remember
but
seeing it.
this is
Yeah.
one of the movies, because I think it's happened twice, where it was based off of a short that was really, really scary.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and they can never seem to make those shorts, the full length movies, any good. You ever notice
I
that?
think, well, Mama was like
Yeah.
okay, and then everybody hated Lights Out, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
Didn't
Lights
hate
Out's
it, but
okay. I don't hate
yeah.
either of them. Yeah.
But you can't capture that terrifyingness that you. I wonder what the science is behind it. Why is a short so scary, but when you expand it to a full movie, maybe because you get used to it towards the end. I don't know.
Yeah. It all goes down to the Win a Date with Tad Hamilton Pringles analysis, which is if you're going to have a lot, you want something plain. If you have something short, you put a lot of flavor in it, right?
Oh, this is
And that's the
just
way a
like
short is.
anal.
There you go. Too
That's
great.
long, it's
Yeah.
coming out of your mouth. Too short, you can't feel it. There's a good girthy area right there that gets you
Yeah.
all the flavor.
The Pringles can analogy. I liked where you were going with that. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I respect
I feel
it.
like you can have a lot of flavor in a short. Like horror shorts are some of my favorites because I can suspend my disbelief that quickly. I don't have to worry about those things. It can withstand repeat viewings, and it's just conscientious of my time. Because you guys hear me rant about this all the fucking time. Like I don't have the patience. Like I watched Thor: Love and Thunder. That movie is fucking annoying. Like there are so many like unnecessary bloat to it. Like they come back to Earth. Why? To go back to Spaceland. Why? Just go from Spaceland to Spaceland and save me a 15-minute drawn out scene that means nothing ultimately. And so horror is the same way. Like if it could be a really good horror movie, but if it's bloated, I lose it. So the shorts are much better. Also, I'm wearing some right now.
Oh, me too.
Well,
How short are they? Are they short shorts or are they just like shorts?
They're short shorts.
it's
They're
Adrian. Of
they're
course, they're
PJ
short
They're
shorts.
PJ shorts. I know, I'm such a hoe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mikey, are
so
you wearing pants this time? Because the last time we recorded on Oni Baba, I believe you were just wearing panties. That was a talking point.
It was a talking
um,
point. I am wearing lounge shorts, so they are shorts literally cut from a different cloth.
Lounge shorts. I just imagine somebody with like a fucking kimono like Hugh Hefner, and they pull it aside, and there's a fucking shorts with a drawstring in the front for class.
Well, that's what I call the shorts that are like that thicker cottony material. It's not like a basketball or a
You mean like a
pocket short.
sweatpant?
It's not a
Yeah.
culotte.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, rest of the year really quickly. Evil Dead remake, love it. Dark
Woo!
Skies, Willow Creek came out that year. The Haunting in Connecticut, Carrie remake. Ugh. Suck a big dick on that one.
I hate that movie so much.
That movie can
The
just fucking
worst.
die.
No.
Why did you
Yes.
see it?
You know what? I
Did you
don't even
think in
know
your
why.
wildest machinations that wouldn't be the worst movie ever?
No,
Let's
you
be
know
real.
why we watched it? I didn't want to watch it. My family rented it, and we always used to watch movies together. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't like Chloe Grace Moretz already
I
as
hate
is.
her. I hate
And then this
her.
movie did not do her any favors. And I was like, what the fuck is she doing with her hands? Put your hands down, bitch. And don't even get me
she's
started.
horrible. I can't stand her. She makes the same face in every movie and the little whiny whatever.
This face?
But Julie, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
She's like a female Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
just-
Nicolas Cage, though. Does that make me an anti-feminist?
Yes, it
Oh
does.
my God. An
my
anti-Chloe Grace
God.
Moretz, that's what that makes you.
Wasn't Chloe Grace Moretz going to be the live action Little Mermaid at one point?
I don't
No.
know.
Lindsay
I don't-
Lohan was.
Oh God. Ugh,
Meth mouth.
yeah,
Allegedly.
that would have been a hot mess, Ariel right there. But what else? Oh, The Sacrament, Texas Chainsaw, Contracted, Bad Milo, Wolf Creek 2, World War Z, The Green Inferno, The Conjuring, VHS 2, Oculus, The Returned, Warm Bodies, Frankenstein's Army, Nurse Stoker, Jugface, and Curse of Chucky. So I mean, there was a lot to watch that year, and
Ugh, Curse of
I-
Chucky is probably my favorite on that list.
it's really good. Stoker's really good. Like, hello, Matthew Good is so evil and so hot at the same time. I can't take it.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's good. It is so twisted. Like oh God, I want to tell you, but I can't tell you. Should I tell you? Do you want to know?
Sure, I'll probably won't watch it because I'll forget about it after this episode.
Yep.
Okay.
I've already forgotten. What are we talking about?
Stoner.
Stoker with Matthew
Stoker.
Good.
It's about somebody at a fireplace with the little metal thing, and he's prodding the.
No, Nicole
Prodding what?
Kidman and Mia Wasikowski, however you say her name. And so her father dies, and her uncle's Matthew Good, and he comes back into town, and he's basically a serial killer. So she watches him murder someone, and then she imagines it later in the shower, and she masturbates, like imagining him killing someone.
Same.
Like, so fucking like twisted, like the whole movie, because so basically like she has serial killer tendencies, but she's trying not to be evil, but she doesn't want to be like her uncle. But
Does she have serial killer tendencies, or does she just get off to people killing people? Because been there, done that, honey.
Well,
I bang myself in the shower every night after I watch Dexter.
Okay, yes,
Michael C. Hall on these balls.
In this hall.
Okay.
Double up. Okay, go.
Anyway,
throw
so
that hot dog down the hall.
my first was so I'm not even going to respond to that.
I had a second line in my head like Wayne Brady, but you look so disappointed. I just immediately backtracked. I was like, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I've reached the point where I'm no longer funny.
Okay, so thank you, Jake, that you've successfully taken Micah's place today, because
You told me I'm coming in hot. Also, I have no fun facts to give, so all I have to do is just be loud, and that's basically all I'm good at.
Oh, well, that's fine. But yeah, so no, with this one, the first thing I want to convince, the whole point, the theme of this episode is to sort of convince Jake to see this movie, All Cheerleaders Die. It is a Lucky McKee movie. We know Lucky McKee from films such as May, great film, The Woman, and he does, he does a short with Pollyanna McIntosh and Tales of Halloween, as well as other things. But those are my favorites that he's done. So I'm really excited about that. So that's one little bullet point to convince you. But the second one, and most important one, is that it's only 90 minutes. So
it's not bad. How much of that's credits?
You know what? I don't know. It probably would have been shorter, I think, if it didn't have well, no, yeah, because they have like an open. Is there an opening montage or an ending montage? I can't remember.
No, because it like starts off pretty quickly, and then as the tragedy happens, that's when like the credits start.
Okay, yeah. And then the ending, like it ends, but then it's like got little snippets of
Flashes.
flashes of things happening. So if
I
you
will
didn't want to
say
watch that, it'd be shorter.
it's a
Is it
good
Return of the
time.
King E where it's like, oh, here's an ending, but wait, here's an ending. No, for real, this is the ending.
What's Return of the King? Is this a Star Wars movie?
Oh,
I think
Mikey.
it's Lord of the Rings. I think that's the only one I own because I got it for free in like this DVD subscription.
I was prescribed Lord of the
I
Rings.
was prescribed. Yeah, no. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm very tired.
Oh wait, I'm hot, not smart. What's the
Oh.
book?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
It's already too late.
Who read it? Okay. Jake, I think you've read those, right? I don't know.
No,
Anyway.
fuck no. I fucking hate them. I love
Have
the
you at
movie.
least read The Hobbit?
The Hobbit is like one of my favorite books of all time. I've read it probably 12 times. And I think it's very, very nearly perfect for a fantasy book. And it's so self-contained and wonderful. And I have never gotten through Fellowship of the Ring because it's so fucking boring. It's like the guy was like, hey, all the stuff that's interesting and fun, let's just not do that and suck. And so no, I haven't read that. I haven't read the
Sounds like a
Silmarillion,
good time to me.
Oh, this would be a good little, don't mean to interrupt everybody, but one of my students joined the Anchor now. So he's getting like notifications.
Ooh, this is
Well,
interesting.
And I'm like, please don't listen to it.
yeah.
Yeah. So for
So
sure, don't use this in a court of law. We're not trying to indoctrinate you. This isn't a cult. Also, if I'm ever talking about anything sexual, it's purely hypothetical involving characters from Super Smash Brothers and not any people living or dead.
well, I think he's 18, so we're fine. But anyway, so back to the movie. Thank you, Justin, for your support.
Thanks, Justin. J Dog. Another J Dog on the team.
You're definitely getting an A.
Oh, yeah.
Unrelated to the fact that he gives you money. It's just like, oh, because like, let's be blunt. His household
Don't even
pays
come
your
to the
salary
last week
already.
of school. Just
yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing.
True.
It's like taxation. That's how you make your income. So everybody's bribing you at all times. I'm
Yeah.
bribing you, and I don't even have kids in your district.
Well,
I
there you
just do it
go.
with my body. But anywho, yes, go on.
So, and then I think the last, I guess, well, you know what? And this is the thing. I know what would deter you from this film. I don't know if I should tell you.
There's lesbians in it.
Well, no.
No, my chastity.
Well, I know you're a vegan, and they eat all that.
Vegetarian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it's
There's
not because
eating
of
beaver
the
from beginning to end.
But I guess we could say, I mean, we'd have to say it. So this is what bothers me about it because I forgot what happened. I watched it in 2013, totally forgot what happened. I rewatched it again. Yeah, so it's basically a rape revenge, but you don't find that out until like at the end of the movie, right? So like all of these things kind of like you discover them as you go through the film, like you discover what happened before, like you really don't know what's happening right away, which is nice because it feels like more of a voyeuristic view of their lives and whatnot. However, the issue I had was at first I loved the fact because I forgot that he had done that to her, but before I watched that scene and found out, I love the fact that for the most part you felt like this wasn't a rape revenge. Like the boys terrorize the girls, but they don't do so like I mean he hits her, he hits his girlfriend, punches her in the face, and then the teenage boys run them off the road. Like they get in their cars to go call the police, and they get run off the road, and they drown in a river and they die. They come back though, so it's okay.
And that was that was something that I had an issue with too. I don't, I can watch rape revenge movies and not be triggered by anything, but I felt it unnecessary in this one because it was already a revenge movie. They killed the girls and they were coming back, and I felt like this movie, it tries a little hard to be half high school horror fun type movie, and another half like symbolic serious, like, and I don't like the mixture because some parts are really campy, and then like when you do find out that one of the girls was raped, they like wanted to parallel the scene of while they were killing another girl, like paralleling it to like the rape, and
Yeah.
with the knife going in her stomach when she talks about what she had to do. There was also some lines that were a little cringy that I was like, "Oh, I don't think high schoolers would say that."
Mm.
Oh,
But
well, I mean, it's again, this is like 2030. So it came out, the old one came out in 2008. So if you think back on movies that came out that time, a lot of the guys, we talked about this before, were very broy,
yeah,
a lot of homophobia, a lot of sexual remarks towards women that were acceptable, not acceptable, but that that was normal. Like I'm not saying I'm accepting of it, but it was just indicative of the time. So
yeah.
I think that if they had omitted the part where he raped the girl,
I don't know. You guys are starting to sound too woke, like a horror movie where somebody doesn't get needlessly raped. I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, why are we even here? You know, like I feel like this woke stuff's becoming a bit of a joke right now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean, you're
know.
totally being a Chad, but honestly, it's kind of like it says something about your film when you're able to stray away from the cliche, which is what we touched on with Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
second, the remake, is that it was a revenge movie with females as the main protagonists, but like it didn't involve rape. It
Yeah.
was,
Hmm.
they were getting revenge on the attack of one of their moms. And so it's like it's more unique and it brings more to the story. It's kind of like when Rob Zombie tried to make you think, oh, this is Michael Myers' backstory. It's like, well, yeah, that's kind of a given. Like that's very cliche. Like it didn't bring anything new to the story. And
It,
so
yeah, it was unnecessary because the fact is, what made it interesting was the fact of he was just evil. And I think with a lot of things, when you give these needless explanations, like, and Adrian, let me ask you this question: do you think that it's because women are generally pacified in gender roles, and if women speak out for themselves they're looked as like maybe being a bitch or something to that effect? Do you think that very often horror relies on rape to show that this woman has gone to such a point where now she's finally allowed to fight back? Because, like, let's say this was a movie where a guy simply catcalled her and then she went and killed someone, people would say, oh, that's disproportionate. But then if she gets a bloody lip, is that proportionate? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that's a lot of horror I think does that only because I think that being violated like that, it just sort of would trigger a person to just go above and beyond, their attacker. But it's not just that. Like the thing is like you don't need to be violated in order to do that. Like him punching her the way he punched her was enough,
yeah.
right? That was
And they
enough.
killed them. That's already a
Yeah, and
violation. Like
well,
we don't need
yes.
to add more.
You can't really come back from the dead unless you have a witch, a lesbian
Yeah.
witch obsessed with you that's following you around all the time. So, and that's another thing too. None of the characters, except for the blonde, I loved her. Tracy, was that her
Yeah.
name in the movie? Tracy.
Hmm.
Um, she is my favorite. But
Mine
every one
too.
of these girls are they're just horrible people. Like
uh
they're like the one the
The main girl.
the main chick, the main lesbian, what's her name? I don't know.
What
I
was her
feel
name?
like she like targeted Tracy, right? She gets her alone, she's hitting on her. Like I felt like she was like a predatory lesbian. Like I really
Yeah.
felt that. And I find that I noticed that the same thing with Anna Faris's character in May. So I wonder if this is like a trope that Lucky McKee just kind of relies on, right? Like a predatory lesbian type deal. And then her other witch girlfriend that she basically dumped and was treating like shit, she was a pain in the ass. Like get over it. Like who cares? That girl's a bitch to you. Like she was awful. Why are you know what I mean? Why are you following her around crying about it? Like, oh my god. And then the sisters were annoying as shit. So it's like everybody in the movie was just they were not none of the characters were likable to me. I don't know
were they
why.
purposefully not likable? Because I find that
Yeah.
very often, like when I watch high school stuff specifically, everybody fucking annoys me.
Well, the
Hmm.
strange thing is, in the beginning, they're purposely not likable, but the one that actually is likable is the one that you think is the most unlikable in the beginning, and that's the blonde popular girl,
Yeah.
because she gets, and I think that's one of the big issues I have. I don't care if she dies. I mean, of course, I liked her character and I would, didn't want her to live. But my thing is, she dies so stupid and she doesn't get any type of like retribution for what her boyfriend did to her. Like,
For what
she
her
was,
boyfriend did and what the other chick did to her to manipulate her in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah. And it's just like, she had like a kind soul. And she was the one that, like, she had a really fucked up death, which I'm like, keep the fucked up death, but at least let her get some, what she deserves and then kill it.
Yeah. No, and I don't think she should have died. I think they should have turned it on its head and made her the main character and the other chick just die because
Yeah, she was a little miserable. It's one of those things where, like, I understand we want the broody Nev Campbell from Scream, but sometimes they overdo it. It's like, your character's so miserable that I don't like them.
like she was miserable even before before we
Yeah,
find out that she was raped. Like when she's filming her friend, she was just being a bitch behind the camera the whole beginning because the beginning's like found footage. And
Okay.
so she's following one of her friends around who's a cheerleader doing a documentary for her or something, I forget. And she goes to practice and tapes her, and the best friend like falls and breaks her neck like after doing a stunt,
yeah, it's pretty
and
grody.
she's dead. Yeah. So and it's on camera. So and they keep showing, oh my god, the sound it makes when she breaks her neck. Oh
Yeah,
god.
I hate
Okay.
it.
It was so good though. Like that's, I mean, because it was really unexpected. Like it just kind of happens really fast. You're like, holy shit.
I
So that
remember
part
one
was
time
fun.
watching a little documentary with a Foley effects artist, and they were like showing how they did certain sounds. And for like necks breaking, the guy just literally took like a head of romaine lettuce and just twisted it apart. And so now I really like making salad for that reason.
When you're angry,
Ugh!
breaking
I
heads
love
of
it.
lettuce. That's such a vegan violence thing. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Um,
I could pull a Mike Tyson and eat some ears of corn.
I can eat a cornet, not with my mouth. It's a magic trick. I'll show you on October
Oh
11th.
my god.
oh
But
my God.
but
In your navel.
yes, there is, so the characters weren't super unlikable to me. They were typical high school. Maybe that's why you
Yeah.
were kind of triggered by it, because you're like, I deal with this all day.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
the main character, she was kind of whatever. I didn't really mind the witchy friend. I thought she had some endearing moments, and she was like the more passive, like, oh, but I still love you, and she names her cat after her ex-girlfriend. And it's, the sisters, the older sister, only thing she really brought to the table was she was beautiful.
Yeah,
So
she
I
was
didn't
really
mind.
pretty.
Yeah, I didn't mind when she was on screen. But what I will say is, if you ever cast in a movie and they're like, you need to be a psycho boyfriend, they need to turn on this movie and watch how this guy who plays her boyfriend does it, because there's
Oh,
something about his eyes that makes you very uncomfortable. Like, great acting on his part, because he doesn't have to say anything for you to know, oh, he's on his psycho mode right now.
yeah.
Um, I
He
can't describe it, but he's so good at it.
It's I would watch it for him alone because I think that I agree with you there. He is probably the best acting in the entire of all of the characters, and he has so few lines, but like he's got these expressions that he makes. And I don't know, I think he's not, and that's the thing too. You have a like a lead male in a movie like this, and I guess not early 2000, well, it was almost 10 years ago. Yeah, oh my god, 10
Yeah.
years ago. And
Ugh.
he and it's for a movie like this, I'm surprised that they have like a black lead like this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was surprised that they had a black lead because normally whenever they do movies like this, all the kids are like whitewashed, right? Like they're all like
Yeah.
Hmm.
little, and so
Maybe a token black character in the back, like Tammy and the T-Rex or something.
Yeah,
yeah, like
but no,
something like that.
he's Mr. Popular. He's not the quarterback, because the kid that actually looks like a high school kid was the quarterback.
Yeah.
But he did
But he
so
was the
good.
captain, I think, of the team, right? And he
Yeah.
was just he had great body too. And
Hmm.
but he was a total toxic piece of shit. And like you could just tell that something was off about it. But see, I took it as she liked him and that she was getting back at him, Maddie, the girl that was making the video. She was trying to get back at him, not because he raped her, but because her best friend died, and then a month later he goes out with the other cheerleader, right? So
Yeah.
it's like so I took it as that, and then when I find out that he did that, I'm like, well, why do we have to bring that into it? Because we're dealing with teenagers. I really don't want to. I mean, I feel like horror movies sexualize teenagers enough, right? But as far as like that goes, like, don't do it. Like, oh, I hate that. So,
But it doesn't add anything to her
no.
motivation. It's an explanation after the fact. Did it feel like padding, like after the fact, trying to like bloat the time?
Well, yeah, I think that they were trying to put a twist into the film, and they sort of allude to it by the way that she and him look at each other at the beginning of the movie. But it was to me, I took it as, oh, they like each other, and it's like a big secret, right?
Yeah.
So I took it as that. I didn't. You know, I didn't. I think they just wanted to like up it like that much more, and it's like the climax of the film at this point, right? So that's when you find out, and it's just, you know, we don't need that. So with that being said, if that was not in the film, I enjoy it. Like, I think it's funny. I do think it's a little disjointed. I do agree with you there, Mikey,
Yeah.
about that. But other than that, um, for a horror comedy that's kind of like turning things on its head, like as far as with the girl, because it's like a Mean Girls, but you know, with
With death.
with zombie, yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, when they come back, they have to eat, they have to drink blood and eat people to stay alive. So they're basically zombies. So that was a lot of
Vampires.
fun. I love. Well, I guess they're a vampire. I don't know.
Death becomes her, Jennifer's body, Jawbreaker
Yes,
combined.
Yeah, pretty much.
exactly. It's all those. So if you liked all of those ones, you're gonna like this one.
I don't
Now,
know if
is
you
my
caught it.
time better spent just watching the 3 movies that I mentioned?
Probably.
No.
Yeah.
I would honestly, I was kind of being dramatic in the beginning. I don't think this is a waste of time. I think it's fun.
Hopefully, the
Yeah.
listeners stayed listening the whole time, because if they
My
just tuned
listeners
off,
don't drop off. I'm
okay.
sorry. I know
What
that
about
the
the rest of
statistics are
them?
different whenever you are hosting by yourself, but when I am here, they don't drop off.
Oh,
Regardless,
no.
just kidding.
That's fine. I don't know what the statistics are. I would love to know how it's impacted by my nasally voice.
Statistics show that I'm 100% that bitch. But
Yes.
I don't know if you caught this, and maybe it's just me being a gay and sensitive to this content, but the boyfriend, his name starts with a T. I forgot what it is because in my notes I referenced him as T.
Terry.
Trey? Terry.
Terry. Yeah.
Can we call him Toots for the purposes of this?
Oh, okay. Well, his last name in real life is Stankus.
Stank ass.
Well, anyways,
What is
And he
that?
kept that name. That's his. He couldn't have gotten a stage name.
Yeah,
He just went with Stank ass.
Yeah.
Great
pretty
business
much.
manager. Definitely keep him.
Oh no, I think that's the character's last name. Just kidding. No,
Oh.
just kidding. I don't know what I'm looking at. His real name is Tom Williamson.
well,
Boring.
anyways, so there's a part in the beginning when they're like foreshadowing with the bear trap, and I guess his friend's spending the night at his house because he kind of reminds you of like, because he's psycho. When the guy tries to leave the football team, he tackles him. He's like, "You think I'm gonna let you leave, bro?" So he just seems like the very toxic alpha that will do anything to stay alpha. So there's a part in the beginning where he's toying with the bear trap, and I think it might have been after he kills them the first time. And his friend's staying the night at his house, and his friend's in his bed, and he's like not wearing any clothes. And he's sitting next to him in bed, and I was like, okay, that's a little homoerotic, whatever. But then the next day at school, when they're talking, he's like, he has his hand around the guy's neck like this. And so I'm like, are they trying? I mean, I don't think they're. If I was making this movie and I put those subtle things in, I'd be like, they're fucking.
Yeah.
But
So
they could be though. That's the thing, because there's just something about that guy that he's maybe he's so overt, as like so overtly masculine, because he's hiding his true
I mean, he seems like the
sexuality.
guy that would say a hole's a hole, kind of like Micah. But
Oh,
Well,
right.
did you ever get any kind of gay vibes from Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich in Scream? Because they kind of
Yeah.
dangle on each other a little bit too.
yeah, towards the end.
I never took that as gay. I just thought they were very like, I don't know. Like, I think it's sexy when they're hanging on each other, but that's me. Anyway.
Almost like it's
Oh my god.
arousing to the
It's a
characters involved
little.
too. There was a movie, I think it's called Elephant, something like that. It was like a dramatization of like a Columbine type situation, and the two shooters end up like making out and stuff. And it kind of just abruptly came out of nowhere.
Oh
And then it's not
god.
really touched on again. And so it kind of made me like think about other instances where it's like, male villain team ups. And so often,
Hmm.
like, there's subtle queer coding for villains where that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So sorry if I went off topic.
No, that's all I was gonna say. I didn't know if you caught it or not, but it was a little
I
homoerotic.
I did there. I don't know. There's just something very. I caught. I did notice that, but I don't think it was. I don't know. I think maybe he could be, and maybe that's why he's just like that because, like, if he had to force himself onto a girl, like to prove himself, I don't know, or
Yeah.
he's just a whole as a whole. It could be. It could be both.
Or
I've
it's
never
a
really
it's
into it.
a power thing.
Yeah, a power thing. That too. And remember when he's working out in the gym,
And the
like.
guy's being too loud.
Yes, and I was getting annoyed by that too. I would have been pissed off. Like, why the fuck are you slamming the weights down like that? I hate it when people do that. Like, you can set it down. You're not special. So anyway, I was like, this is how I feel because anytime I'm at the gym, and it's always men who do this, you just have to throw it down. Just throwing
Yeah.
it. I'm like, fuck are you throwing? Why are you so loud? Shut up.
They're probably
Yeah, you're
listening to
right.
the band
Mhm.
Throw Down.
Never heard of them. But you're right.
Mm.
He probably fucked him in the locker room after that to assert his dominance,
Probably.
so he'll never do that again.
Never do it again. And you do realize that the machine he was on, it was going up and down.
Very, very
Yes. So there's a lot.
penetrative.
Yeah, there was a lot of like insinuation or whatever, insinuating.
Phallics and holes. Phallics and
There you
holes.
go. So that's that. I don't know, Jake. I think you should watch it and then you can tell us how you feel about
Yeah,
it.
and then we can
Can you
record a
censor it for
5-minute
me?
wrap out.
Hmm?
Ooh, I like the rapping part. Can you censor out the rapey stuff?
We can tell
Well,
you what time frame to skip.
Yeah, but I'd like you to like splice it together because that would make me feel like you really want me to watch it.
Oh, I have to, yeah. See that, and that was the only thing I could think of that would deter you from watching it because it those things deter me, and maybe that's why I forgot what was going on in the movie to begin with because I do remember the beginning of it where they dropped the girl. Like I remember
Yeah.
all of that. I'm like, but why couldn't I remember the rest of it? It was just weird. I don't
Because it
know.
wasn't an important plot point that they decided just to throw in there to raise the
Yeah.
stakes. My
Yeah.
first note in my notes was this movie did not age well because when it first came out in 2013, I saw it as soon as it came out because when like horror and cheerleaders, I'm in. I really enjoyed it. So when we talked about doing it, I was like, oh, I want to do that one. I think Jason mentioned it. I was like, I want to do it. And I watched it again. I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
And it seems like that with any films that come out, like I would say probably like early 2000s up until like I mean, even like 5 years ago, not even 5 years ago. So probably up until like 2015. And all right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's just some of those characters and those tropes that they use just don't age well. I mean, if you look at Hostel, for instance, and I always
Hmm.
I always go back to Hostel because that is really like you watch it now and you're like, oh my God. Like I'm not even like, oh my Godding at the gore. I'm oh my Godding at the
Yeah.
things that they're saying to each other and how they're talking and what they're talking about. And
You bundle of cigarettes, you bundle of cigarettes, you bundle of cigarettes.
yes, dropping the F-bomb, this, that, and the third, right? And it's like that was just so common for people to say and call each other. And it's like there have been times where like because I've always been writing and like I started writing the book that I published a couple of years ago. I started writing that around 2013 and one of the characters said and I was like when I was editing and trying to get everything out, I'm like we can't use that anymore. I took it out So, oh, we have to bleep that by the way. I said it.
I'll bleep
Not
it.
even I'm not even drinking. This is terrible. And so
I
like
always like saying it at a gay bar and see who turns around.
oh my God.
You say it like a really burly voice.
Yes, I do a very masculine voice when I scream it. I'm just kidding. The gays love that word. It's fine.
Well, I don't like when people call each other that in a derogatory way, right? It's because
Yeah.
there's
And
a
I
lot of
think
other
it
things you could
goes
say.
it goes with everything, any type of, because there's a bunch of words out there that some people don't feel comfortable saying, but other people call each other it. And I think it's all about the intent behind it.
Yeah.
Like some people might not like being called a bitch if they're a woman, but if it's like being like, hey bitch, but it's not like, hey, stop being a fucking bitch. Like that's different.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's all about context, right? So
Well, it all kind of goes to that, like the trope of like you could say mean things about your mom or your family, but then when somebody else says it, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing where like if you're part of the group, it's a lot easier to get away with that than if you're an outsider, because then it's you don't know the struggle to an extent.
And I also love when that extends to like people that like kind of don't like each other, because I've noticed I like studying my group of friends, because there's friends that I have that like they're not the biggest fans of each other, but if like someone outside of the group says something about this individual, the other one that like isn't a big fan is like no, we're not
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. Girl World is so weird.
So yeah, I mean, and so I don't know. I guess you could watch it, Jake. So if Jake watches it, let us know. If you guys want Jake to watch it, let us know in the comments. I could put a little poll up with this episode, and then if people do say he has to watch it, then Jake, you're gonna have to watch it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me put it. How about this? What we could do, if we could make this an ongoing series, where if you think that Mikey and Ade did a good enough job to convince me to watch it, let us know. If there's more votes for than against, I'll do like a little review for YouTube. If it's against, I'll just pick the movie of my choosing and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So these are the specific rules. slasherspod@gmail.com. You will specifically label the email and say yes blank or no blank. I will count the no's. We'll go to the pile where I watch whatever the fuck I want. The yeses go to me watching this movie and posting a review thereof. Bam.
Bam. There we
Bango,
go.
bango.
And we'll make sure to write
Rest in
that
peace,
in
Micah.
the description. Oh, he's fine. I know. Micah's thing. I don't know if you listen, Jake, but Micah's thing is saying on the show that you're no longer with us. Like, you know.
Oh, I know. I know. He also says that I'm giving away free fucking shirts. I know.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
episode.
they do that every episode. And I told him, I'm like, you can't keep doing that.
This honky prick, I work up a delightful little angle for him, and he can't even shoot a promo. He never stops fucking talking. I even shoot a promo in a fucking court parking lot and send it to him as a rough draft. I do the whole thing. He's like, that sounds great. I'm going to record you something. Then never fucking did, to put him over because people said he was being too mean to me.
Well,
Yeah. I was going to
he
be
also
corporate
said-
Jake. I was going to be the Vince McMahon. He was going to be Stone Cold Steve Aston.
he also said you were a bottom, so
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be dangerous because I'm also very competitive. So I'd probably shove like a whole traffic cone up my ass, be like, I did it. And then I'd be like, ugh, dysentery.
yeah.
Because who has that much Purell for an entire traffic cone, right?
Oh God. Okay. But yeah, that's not cool, Micah. You need to get on that.
Yeah, Micah.
Well, it's been ruined now. I was going through all my files on my phone and I found that, and it was like 2 months ago. So guess
2
what? The
months
idea is
ago.
dead.
Oh my God. He has time too. That little scamp. Anyway.
The idea is dead, and he is dead to me.
Well, maybe when you guys meet in October, you guys can record something together.
Maybe y'all can kiss and make up.
Oh, we can put them side by side and be like, look at it's Jake and Bizarro Jake.
We'll put him in a costume we'll make each other freak show characters, and they'll be the conjoined twins.
Oh, how cute.
Put him in one t-shirt.
Actually,
I like that. Like that movie Stuck on You, which is really classy and inclusive and not ableist at all.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not.
I wonder if Micah's shorter than you. Do you know how tall Micah is?
I think he's a cruiserweight.
I think he's definitely shorter than Jake.
Oh.
He's like 5'10".
Oh, okay, then I got a couple inches on him, vertically and horizontally. So can I talk about how I'm now a devout Christian? Can I talk about that really quick?
Yes, please. I'm so happy you've been saved. We have to work on Ade next.
This is the good business. So we were cleaning out my my wife's dead grandparents' house, and we found this like little hourglass. And Aurora likes hourglasses. I have a tattoo of one, so it's actually kind of eerily similar to my tattoo. So we timed it, and it comes out to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're like, what the fuck do you do with that? And so I have been making a joke to my wife for the last week of like, you know what we could do with 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And so last night she's like, okay, the time starts now. And I'm like, fuck. So we're getting to it. And then the hourglass stops. And it just completely stops. And I got all of my goodness. And then she's like, I don't think that's going anymore. And I'm like, come on, it's an hourglass. How the fuck does it stop? Like gravity, it doesn't work, of course. And so God intervened on a Sunday to make sure I got laid intervening through the what would you call it? The channel of my wife's dead grandmother's hourglass. So
Oh,
thanks,
okay.
Big JC. I appreciated it because I picked it up and I put it down and it was still blocked. We had to like do a little flicky and then it started going again. But thanks, Jesus.
You're gonna put a little
Aw.
put a little rice in there.
That's
Oh
funny
yeah,
'cause
for sure.
I always joke around with Adam whenever he's trying to get passionate on a Sunday. I say, "This is God's day. We can't."
Please, I don't get any on any day, so there's that. Oh,
Aw.
I know. I'm so
Be
sad.
very careful saying things like that because they're gonna fill up the email with like dick pics, and I only care about yeses and nos. Okay, if you're gonna abuse slasherspod@gmail.com, I don't want that kind of abuse.
Yeah,
What
I
if
don't check the slashers pod email either, everybody. So please don't
I
send your
do?
penis to
Send
Jake.
them. You'll have a yes or a no, and for every inch you prove that has how many entries you get into the system must be 18 years or older to enter, preferably 20.
Preferably, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, we could like pass them around like trading cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's time to plug some shit. Oh yeah,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
Dougie McDuggerson. He has a movie coming out called Trash Juice, which
Starring
Mikey
me.
and yes, I am second unit directing to make sure Mikey gets all of the gory goodness on celluloid film, not cellulite, like the lower half of his trousers. Boom, take that for making fun of me about something earlier. It's gonna be rad. We still have to get it working.
First of
Uh
all, I didn't make fun of you, but I'm glad
you
you said that blanket statement because the likelihood of me making fun of you probably did happen sometime in this
exactly.
episode.
Oh, I know it did. I don't remember what you said because you've said so many slanderous things in the tenure of our relationship. But you will see Mikey on a big screen. It'll be October 12th in San Pedro at some bullshit. We have slasherspod.redbubble.com. If you have any ideas for shirts or merch, let me know and I'll be happy to doodle and draw or otherwise design. There's Saturday Night Terrors, Friday Night Action. Ade's book is still available on Amazon. If you want to help Jeff Bezos primarily and Ade secondarily, please, by all means. Mikey's working on a book right now, so just throw money at our Patreon. You're helping to subsidize, and you'll own a part of his book. That's something that you write down, and you'll get stipends for years to come. Anything else we want to plug?
I would also like to say Adrian is also in Trash Juice in all her
Oh.
full clavagic glory.
Oh, yay.
I'm gonna be the John Larroquette of the movie. Did you know that? Did Doug tell you
I don't
that?
know what that is.
No.
So John Larroquette, who is famously in Night Court, and he's wonderful, and he's God's gift to man. He did the voiceover at the start of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah.
I apparently am going to be doing that, which I haven't seen. I don't have a script yet, so yeah, I get multiple credits in this movie. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's still editing it too, and I'm like, oh my god, isn't it like, are we supposed to be like showing it?
I know time's a ticking, but you know, Doug, he's a workhorse. He's gonna get it done.
I know.
What's the great part about
Bless
like
his heart.
digital is he doesn't have to worry about like sending it off to get acid bathed and stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, who's hosting? Jake's
It was
hosting.
Why he
Jake,
did.
but he kind.
Oh.
Okay. Well, on behalf of most
Louder.
likely. On behalf of most likely to bleach her hair in a back alley with the bottle of peroxide, Jake,
Oh
and
man, she got you good.
and most likely to be a teacher to high schoolers just like herself, Ade. Thank you for listening, and goodbye and good die.
Bye.